everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Sky Entertainment. I'm your host, Skylar Davis.
And I'm your fashion host, Kayla Moore.
And I'm your hot and healthy host, Classy K.
And love is in the air, so grab your chocolates and teddy bear because this week we have a special Valentine's Day episode. But we have a guest for you all, Miss Erin Coleman.
Hi guys, my name's Erin Coleman. I'm a recent graduate of Florida A&M University, and I'm so happy to be here today.
Yes, so ladies, let's jump right into it. What is your ideal man?
Okay, are you talking about like physically or are you talking about mentally?
Let's give them two of each. So everyone go around and give your 4 ideal characteristics that you want in a man.
Okay, I'll start tall, dark, for my physical features, financially literate, and emotional.
Okay, well I like brown skin men. You have to have nice teeth. You have to be intellectual, and you have to have a good relationship with your family.
Yeah, I can definitely piggyback on that. I would definitely say tall. I'm real petite and small, so I like tall men. Dark skin, nice skin too. Definitely have to be intellectual. And I would have to say very family oriented as well.
For me, number 1, a relationship with God. Number 2, financially stable. Number 3, tall, because I am a petite woman as well, and definitely the nice teeth.
Okay, well, since we said what we like in a man, what if he has, potential, but he's not all the way there yet? Would you still give him a chance?
I don't think it's safe to date potential.
Okay. Let's get into it. Let me put the roles down. Let's get into it.
Because you don't want to date what might be. I mean, it's okay to have faith in somebody, and of course we're in college, so we know we're going to be successful at the end of the day, get the degree, whatever. But sometimes you just don't know, honestly. So you putting your eggs all in one basket for something that might happen isn't quite a good idea.
Definitely. And I think that since we're college students, it's kind of like a stereotype when it comes to that though, because men often say, I might not have all of this, but then the red flags aren't showing. But I feel like after you date, a certain amount of people and get to know people, you don't want those red flags anymore, and you want the green checks. So sometimes, potential is not always the best based on how you're staged in life.
I mean, true, but we are in college and we're young, so I feel like we have our whole lives, honestly, to date and figure out what we want.
That is true.
But those that have dated in college or currently dating, would you say that the future would be a problem? Because some people, we graduate, get different jobs in different cities.
Right.
How would you say you can make that work when you already put in the 4 years or however long you've been together in college?
If you really like somebody, I feel like you'll make it work after college.
So like long distance, you will be okay with long distance?
If I really liked him, yes, of course.
But would you purposefully get a job in the same city so that y'all can be together?
Probably not, because at this age I have to focus on myself, but I would try to make it work, with my life and his as well. So I would hope he would be willing to work it out.
Right. If you really love someone.
If he really loves you, he's gonna let you do what you want and still.
Because love does come with sacrifices.
Definitely.
Not even just relationships. When you think about your parents, they made sacrifices for us. So love definitely comes with sacrifices. So would you be more the one that does the sacrifice or the guy?
Well,
let me be a 50-50.
This is touchy, but let me say this. My dad has always told me you have to like a man more then he likes you for it to work. And I'm sorry, I believe that. I'm sorry, y'all. The man has to like you more. I'm sorry, Dad, if you're watching this episode. The man has to like you more, and I truly believe that.
It's true.
I think once the man gives more into the situation, it'll just work. So I feel like I would rather him do more sacrificing than me. I will say that.
Men like to hunt, okay? And I've always been told that a woman should never be the one chasing. So I
never.
That yes, love is a sacrifice, but at the same time, when you're young as well, I think it's very important now in today's age that women make sure that you have your stuff together as well.
Exactly.
Because love will come along, and women always have the tendency to have this age clock on us, and we always get terrified. Maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I am too successful in my career, and maybe I haven't found love.
Self-doubt.
Right. So I think truly, if you really love someone, you gotta let love find you. That's how I feel.
So do you think that love comes with or without pain?
That's a hard one.
I love that, Kayla. I think that, especially with black women, I think that the black community needs to let go of the notion that we have to accept trauma or pain
Yes,
in love.
yes.
You don't.
Right.
Love is kind.
Yes.
You do not have to endure pain or feel like you have to
say you
go
have
through
true
it
love.
to say that you have true love.
So do you feel like all men cheat? Because that's the question that's often. I don't feel like all men cheat, but some women do feel like that. But that's kind of piggybacking on what Kayla was saying. When it's love is painful, love is kind,
What do y'all
love is sweet.
consider cheating though?
Ooh.
Here's my thing. I am not the type to micromanage a man.
Right.
When it comes to relationships.
He's gonna do what he wants to do.
Exactly, and I'm gonna do what I want to do. You stay in your lane, and I'm staying in my lane. But at the same time, there has to be this really good respect level, you know,
And trust.
I never want to feel like I have to always
Defend.
look over my shoulder.
Yeah.
And at that point, if it's costing you your peace, you don't need
Sanity.
to do that.
Exactly.
Cut it off.
Exactly. I don't believe that all men cheat, but like you said, it's always this notion, especially with black women in the black community, that we have to stay down for a man or deal with the cheating or the lies because we're strong women,
Right.
and we can deal with it. So I feel like that's not true because my parents been married 15 years. My dad never cheated on my mom, to my knowledge. I hope not, daddy. And my grandparents as well. They've been married over 40 years. So it's possible. It's there. It's there. You just got, like you said, let love find you.
I feel like when people are both passionate about loving someone, it'll work and it'll take its course. Of course, it's gonna be like painful things like, oh my gosh, you didn't wash the dishes or be cleaner. That type of stuff is like small. But when it comes to like infidelity, I don't want that.
A man who really likes you is not going to put you through that situation.
Don't put me in a position where I have to defend myself. Don't put me in a position where I'm crying, and don't do that. Like you said, love is kind. I'm really strong on that.
So now, I know none of us have kids, but when it comes to like marriage and when you start getting married, have kids and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of times the infidelity becomes okay because it's just like, okay, we have kids together, we have to make this work. So what do you guys feel about that?
I wouldn't say it's okay at that point, but it's definitely, when you have kids, that's something you have to factor in. But even in that situation, I mean, taking the kids out, like, you have to focus on you, like, what's good for your mental health. Regardless if you guys have kids or not, you shouldn't let any man disrespect you like that, or woman, for guys.
Definitely not. But I was speaking in terms of like, with kids, they obviously, well, in my opinion, they need both parents, mother and father, and I was raised in a two-parent household, and I feel like that's very important. So now, with them starting off being raised in a two-parent household, say dad cheat on mom or mom cheat on dad, and now things are separated, that is trauma for a child.
Right.
Definitely.
And not everybody was, raised with two parents, and that affect how a child is treated when they're younger. They take that.
Yeah, childhood
To
trauma is
adulthood.
definitely real.
Right, and it'll be addressed in your relationship, believe it or not. So I like that question too. I feel like, children are a big obligation and they're going to be in both of your lives forever, And that is a tricky situation. That's when people really are hesitant about getting divorced or like just even staying together in general. I would personally say that I do agree that it's nice to have a good family structure.
Definitely.
But you also don't want to teach or show your kids that it's okay for the man to get comfortable disrespecting you.
Right.
Okay? Because now your child, let's say if you have a daughter, you're kind of reassuring to your daughter that it's okay for a man to disrespect me. It's okay for a man to step out on me and me accept it and be okay with it, So it's hard. I just think that you have to sit down and talk to your children and make a really good executive decision for everyone in their family.
So I actually have an example. So recently, I watched Real Housewives of Atlanta, and one of the peaches, Drew Sidora, she's been married to her husband for about 7 years now, and it was an incident where I guess they got into a heated argument, and he left the house for 3 days. Unexpectedly, and they didn't have contact with each other. Only time they talked was about the children. And background info, he is IT, so he secretly installed cameras in the house to watch them while he was on his 3-day vacay without talking to his wife. So in that sense, kids are involved and they're married. So what would you do?
That's a big no for me. It gets an X. That is not acceptable. And the fact that he was dancing like around the question and answering it makes me suspicious. And the fact that you don't want to answer a text, we have children. You know what I'm saying? But you will sit and watch someone on a camera. First of all, that's an invasion of privacy.
Well, he did be in contact with her when it came to the kids. But
She
other
said
than
barely, and that's
well,
unacceptable.
barely, yes. But in that situation, does that automatically mean, okay, here's the divorce papers? Or as a wife, now they have been married for 7 years, do you say, let's go to counseling, we can work on this, things can change?
And see, this is the issue. Even when they have like younger children, you gotta be very careful with what you're teaching your kids, because kids are sponges. They literally will soak up those things and carry that into their relationships when they become young adults.
Right.
So I feel like in that situation, it was a big no-no in terms of y'all have children together in your way, and if I feel like I don't have access or contact with you to a certain extent, if our child is in an accident or something, I need you here ASAP. We are parenting together in
During a pandemic.
Right, in a union household. I feel like if this was the first go round and this was the first time, I do believe in working it out and going to counseling and see how can you cope if you feel like you need
to
space.
step away.
I understand some couples need space. I get that. People need space in general. But you have to have a healthy way of coping, because leaving your family, abandoning your family essentially for 72 plus hours is unacceptable.
Yeah. So I wouldn't go ahead and say divorce. I think we would lay it out on the table. But if it's something that keeps reoccurring, divorce might have to be an option. And I'm not for divorce. I really, hate that. But if it comes to it, like Aaron was saying, your sanity is very important. If a man keeps on doing something over and over again, how much can you take? How much are you willing to take? And I feel like as Black women, like Kayla was saying, it's just like we have to take that and we have to just be strong and hold the house down and all that, and hold the man down. You don't have to do that. If you don't want to put up with something, you don't have to.
But that brings me back to when Kayla was saying that love shouldn't come with pain. In that instance, that's pain.
It's very painful.
And if that's the first instance, you love them, but like you said, you want to divorce them. So in that situation, I feel like love did come with pain. And they've been married, to me, 7 years is a long time. So honestly, I feel like that's something in their marriage that they have to work on in terms of communication. Because if our communication was good, you would at least tell me, babe, I need some space.
Right.
I'm going to go, out wherever for a couple days. I'll be back, of course, checking in with the kids and stuff like that. And honestly, the whole camera situation, I don't like people who make me look like I'm stupid or make me look like a fool. So I'm telling you that I know there's cameras in the house, but you're IT, so you can delete footage and make me feel like I'm crazy.
That's when communication comes into play, but also trust. Now she can't even trust her own husband because you're lying about watching the cameras, and she know you were. She knows you were.
I feel like that was a controlling mechanism.
Yes.
Manipulative.
Right, very. I think that in a situation like that, women also have to ask themselves, what are, like Skylar was saying, what are you willing to take in terms of, yes, this is pain, but I think as little girls, we're always taught to, aspire to marry, and marriage is supposed to be this fairy tale thing, and it's not. And you're going to disagree with your husband at times, And that's why I said space is also needed. But I think the real issue in that situation was, why can't you just be upfront and tell me where you were?
It
wasn't that hard.
So simple.
What hotel were you at?
But not telling someone, it seems like you're hiding something.
Exactly.
That's where the problem comes in.
Right.
So in terms of, you said like what you will take and what you won't take, I want to know, what are your non-negotiables when it comes to relationships, eventually marriage? What is your non-negotiable? Like, no, if you do this, I'm done. Like, it's over with.
No cheating. If we're married, no cheating. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to yell that one. That's very important to me. That's non-negotiable.
I think cheating is definitely first on all of our lists. Especially, here's the thing. Let's just be honest here.
Let's get into it.
I personally think that men are very careless when they cheat. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that women don't cheat. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that men are very careless when they cheat. What I mean by that is, we're going to find out. A woman's intuition is very strong. When I tell you, I can sense smells, I can sense body language, I can sense a switch in your tone, communication, anything.
You check the gas mileage on the car too?
No, I'm not. I don't go into it like that. Because see, some things, if you don't
That's where
want to
trust
know,
come in.
Right,
Yeah.
If you don't want to know, don't look. Don't look for it. Sometimes if you
don't go
wanna
looking for what you don't want to
investigate,
find.
Exactly. If you're not ready to handle it, if you're not ready to accept what you
Then don't
know
lurk.
is.
But everything will come to light. Everything will come to light eventually. And karma is real.
Yeah, I agree when Kayla says I'm going to find out. Because me, personally, my zodiac sign is a Cancer. I'm very in tune with my emotions.
Very
and I feel like I'm very in
sensitive.
tune with the spirits. I honestly think I'm low-key psychic. But I know, like, the ancestors will tell me what's going on. I could feel it. Yeah, it's the water sign. I could feel it in my bones. Like,
Manifest the queen. Okay.
Yeah, I just know when something is going on, and especially non-negotiable. Don't lie to me. Do not lie. That is one thing I cannot stand is a liar, because that's where trust comes. If I can't trust you, we can't. There's no point of us being together.
So now a new question comes up, and the question is: would you rather him lie to you, or would you rather him shelter the truth? Do you feel who loves you more?
So basically, who does a man love? The one he lies to, or the one he tells the truth to?
I feel like the one he tells the truth. He loves the one that he tells the truth to.
Yes, no matter how painful it is, I feel like tell me the truth and let me decide how I want to go about that. Let me decide. It's my decision.
I feel like I'm a little conflicted on that one. Not saying that I want a man to lie to me, because I don't. But I feel like, especially even not relationships with men, but relationships with like family members and stuff, I feel like a lot of times family, they keep secrets of stuff that maybe happened in the past, or you know what happened, to protect you or to not make children feel a certain way. So they do that out of love. So I'm kind of like, is it okay? I mean, it's never okay to lie, but in that instance, when it comes to family members, like sometimes, let's say a single mother, they won't tell the child why the father didn't come that day or something like that, because they don't want to hurt the child, but they're doing that out of love.
Or sometimes, like, the grandmother will end up raising the child. And then not tell them who their real mother is.
Well, see, when it comes to that,
that's a different dynamic than man.
But then at the same time, if you watch a lot of documentaries, like I recently watched the Tiger Woods documentary, he had a lot of mistresses, and sometimes I really do believe the notion when men like to say that when a man cheats, it doesn't necessarily mean they don't love their woman. I'm not condoning cheating. What I'm simply saying is sometimes when a man steps out, it's either him having emotional issues and he doesn't know how to come to you about it. Doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. That's how I personally feel, and I can understand that. But when a woman cheats, she's already mentally broken up with you in her head, and she's done. That's why she made that decision to go ahead.
We're more emotional.
And again, I feel like men are careless when it comes to cheating, and that's why I said that. So I understand would you feel like, you know, what was it again? Like he
was doing it like not out of love, but protecting you from being hurt. I guess you would say.
I feel conflicted in that situation too. I definitely would prefer the truth.
Yeah, definitely.
Because sometimes when women ask you a question, we already know
the answer.
We giving you the rope to hang yourself.
Because the evidence is gonna be like.
I'm telling you, we know.
I feel like we've talked a lot about pain. Let's bring it up a little bit and talk about something like loving. What are your compatible signs? First state your zodiac sign, then say what you're compatible with. Or even if you aren't compatible with them, if you have like had a dating little problem with them, whatever, just go ahead and say who you like.
I would say, okay, so I'm a Cancer. Like I already said, I'm very in tune with my emotions. So I need somebody who can deal with that. Strong-minded, strong-willed, everything. So I would say, personally, from experience, it might be Libras because they just won't leave me alone. But personally, I feel like Pisces is for me because I have friends that are Pisces and they're more understanding. I feel like that's what Cancer needs is understanding.
Great advice.
It's not even about being right or wrong. I just need you to understand. So for me, it would be Pisces.
Okay.
So I am a Scorpio. I would say I'm pretty assertive and mysterious. So I would feel like a Cancer. I like Cancer too. I mean, I'm a water sign, but I feel like you have to be emotionally available for me as well. And Cancers are emotionally available. I need somebody that will listen because I'm a talker. So if I feel like you can listen, and it's got to be this even balance. So I feel like definitely Cancers. I've talked to a Cancer before, and it was a pretty good experience. So I'm gonna have to go with Cancer.
Okay. Well, I'm an Aquarius. And I'm going to go ahead and say I don't feel like I'm the average Aquarius. I feel like the stereotype is Aquarius are like quiet and socially awkward. I'm not that. I feel like I'm the total opposite. But I'm very assertive and I'm very intellectual. So I feel like as bossy as I can be, I'm not saying I need a man to put me in my place, but I do like, you know, a man to take charge and be protective. So I would say Leos are my favorite. My dad's a Leo. You know, I love Leos. So Leo men is where it's at.
Okay. Well, I'm a Leo. I would say my twin flame zodiac sign would be Sagittarius. I have a lot of Sagittarius friends. My best friend is a Sagittarius. My best girlfriend is a Sagittarius. And my best guy friend is also a Sagittarius. I feel like they're the, I want to say watered down version of Leos, but
I agree.
we click very well. But dating wise, I don't know. I really have not talked to like one sign. Like it's usually different. So, but men in general, just
Okay, so what about finances? Because I know
We're in college.
Because I know that's important to me, and a lot of times, especially now, there's women are bossing up. Like
Yes, we love to see it.
Yes, we're making more money than the men, and in terms of salary and who's bringing home the bacon, what are your thoughts on that? Is it okay for you to make more money than your man, or
Listen,
he
me
make more money than you?
I would want my man to make more money because I just feel like I want him to take care of me. And not saying I don't want to do my own thing, but I do feel like I would want my man to make more money than me. I want to be rich, but there's a lot of things I want in life. So I feel like to be able to share that with a significant other would be really cool.
And speaking of a lot of things that we want, I'm sure the people want a little break because things are getting heated, things are getting juicy. So we'll see you right after this commercial.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
And we're back from the break. We were talking about finances. Who do you want to make more money, the man or the woman? So, Skylar, let us know. Would you want your man to make more money than you, or is it okay if you make more money?
I believe in being my own boss. And I think that it's okay if I make more money, but I mean, he has to come with the funds. So if it's around the same, we can build an empire. Let's build an empire. Let's double this money. Let's put it into stocks. Let's open some businesses. Then that will be great. Like, let's do it together. No shady stuff with the money now. I don't play about my money, but let's do it together. So that's my answer.
What about you?
Absolutely, I'm gonna have to piggyback off that. I've always been driven, so your ambition has to be on the same ambition as mine. You gotta be on the same caliber as me, because I will run you over. So I feel like I can see potential in this aspect because, like I said, we're college students, so it's kind of unrealistic to say I want a man to ball out on me right now. And to be honest with you, if you can show me that you know how to like just have a profitable hobby or anything, that's even more attractive to me because now I know that if anything were to happen, you could still be good on your feet. But at the same time, this is a great conversation too when it comes to finances, because in today's age, Black women are the breadwinners. We really are making a lot of money out here, and a lot of men are not making the same money. And that's when it comes into play of who feels like there's dominance. Is your finances making you the dominant person in your relationship or not? But you know, back in the day, women weren't really working like that. It was always the man is the head of the household.
Women stay home and watch the kids.
Right. And you know, my grandmother always told me the man can be the head of the house, but the woman is the neck that steers it. So I always feel like if you can show me that we can have this even exchange when it comes to finances, I'm all for it.
Okay, in my case, I would say that I want my significant other to make more money than me, only because I'm the high maintenance queen and I can maintain myself. So I need you to, you know, be able to maintain me as well. And I like the finer things in life, and that's okay because I can provide that for myself. And one thing my mom always told me
as long as you can provide it for yourself.
One thing my mom always told me is always have your own, because we can be together today and not together tomorrow. So, but also when it comes to like relationships and once you get to the marriage step, I feel like I'm not paying no household bills. You gonna pay the mortgage. You gonna
Not even a water bill?
Okay, I paid a little cable, you know, you know, something small. And I also feel like that also has to do with how you're raised, because that's how I was raised. My dad paid the household bills, my mom take care of inside the house. So I feel like that also has something to do with it.
Definitely how you were raised. I would say 50-50. I just like this even exchange of things, because even when it comes to just a household thing, a lot of women have this notion that if you cook, you also got to fix his plate and everything. I'm not like that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm low-key a feminist. So when it comes to even exchange, I'm very, very serious about that. And I feel like sometimes men feel like their money could be their personality.
And that's not it.
Hold that over your head.
But I also think that's also, you got to choose wisely who you make your husband. Because me, I'm a giver. I'm a Cancer. I'm a lover. One thing about it, when a woman loves you, she will do anything.
So it seems like we tapping into some love languages.
She will do anything for you. But my man also has to, like you said, come correct and be that person for me and match my standards and everything like that. So I feel like as long as you guys on a level playing field, then things will work out. So it really just has to do with, like you said, so let's get into some love languages.
Right.
Y'all put me on the spot, so I guess I will start. My love language is quality time. What are we giving? 3 or 2?
3.
Top 3.
Okay. Quality time, physical touch, and words of affirmation.
Okay. All right, Aaron, we're sure.
Okay, so I would say my number 1 is definitely words of affirmation. Tell me, how much you like me, love me, whatever it might be. 2, acts of service. And then 3, I used to deny this a lot because it kind of had a negative connotation to it, but definitely gifts. What is it? Gift giving?
Gifts.
Yeah.
Getting gifts. I feel like I personally, when I like somebody and I see that they like something, I want to get it for them to make them happy, see them smile. And a lot of people might see that as materialistic, but if that's what you like, that's what you like.
Yeah.
So definitely giving gifts is number 3 on the list. Buy me stuff to tell me you like.
Okay.
So mine is in like exact order. Words of affirmation definitely has to be top 1 for me. I'm just like a very ambitious person, so I like to have a little reassurance every now and then. Physical touch. I'm pretty affectionate, especially when I like really, really like someone. And then my last one would definitely have to be quality time. I really need to spend time with you because I feel like in today's age, we have the tendency to always just text and do things virtually, but I like to really just disconnect and connect together.
Yeah, no phones,
I would definitely agree. I would say, like I said, I like the finer things in life. So definitely gift giving, quality time, yes, because in quality time, it doesn't even have to be like, oh, let's go on a date. It could be you in this room, I'm in this room, but as long as we together, or we in the same house, that makes me happy. But like I said, I'm a giver, I'm a lover, so I'm just really in tune with my emotions. So that's what I would say.
Now. Well, I feel like we tapped into everything love so far on our lovely panel. But next up after the break, I want to get into some mental health. So we have a special guest to talk about mental health and love. Stay tuned.
I don't think we're free in this country. For 100 years, you saw Black people menaced and targeted and lynched and beaten and brutalized. I think we're burdened by this history. More people have to be willing to do that uncomfortable, inconvenient thing that justice requires for things to get better.
Truth can inspire change. Learn more at EJI.org.
All right, guys, let's get right into Hot and Healthy. My name is Nadia Wilson, and I'm the fashion director. And we have a special guest this week, which is Rachel Walker, and she's here to talk about her brainchild, which is My Melanated Mental.
Greetings, I am Rachel Walker, a third-year psychology student from Atlanta, Georgia, with a minor in journalism. And I am also the creator and CEO of my brand, My Melanated Mental, which is a mental health blog tailored around Black and brown children, providing with resources and tools to help them navigate through the stresses of life.
All right, you guys, so you know this segment is all about love and self-love, Valentine's. So can you tell us a little bit about toxic relationships and how that can affect your mental health?
All relationships can affect your mental health, but specifically toxic relationships, they're always warning signs. So you always have the warning signs. Some people now call them red flags that often start at the beginning of the relationship when you meet them. Maybe they're aggressive in how they talk to you. Maybe they're very physical in how they treat you. All toxic relationship isn't always just physical. I know especially in this generation, we have a lot of verbal abusive relationships because our generation is more lax with how they use words. They're a little more loose and a little more comfortable when relationships first start off. So because of that, they often do things that wouldn't be deemed appropriate. So for starters, I know with toxic relationships, the first thing that they pry on or see is, what are your weaknesses? What are the things that you depend on that relationship for? So if you're somebody who isn't the strongest in terms of emotionally, you're emotionally vulnerable, you're emotionally prone to get your feelings hurt, then that's what they tend to prey on. So you can also think physical, like, maybe you're in a relationship with someone who's physically more dominant, that being a man, and they assert their physicality in ways that, would be deemed as toxic to show that they're more aggressive. So I feel like there are always warning signs, especially depending on who you are, what your strengths and what your weaknesses are, show you what your warning signs would be for a toxic relationship.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about warning signs and how you can basically get to know what warning signs are?
Yeah, it's really your intuition. A lot of times we think it's this, long drawn out list of things that help you identify, but a lot of times when you know, and you tend to ignore them if you feel like the outcome will be greater than what I'm going through right now. So maybe you go on a first date with a guy and you really like him, but you notice anytime you got on your phone, he got really upset. Like, can you please put your phone down? Like, why are you always on your phone? You got one more time to be on your phone. And they say little things like that, and it's like, there's something wrong with how you may hear it or how you may perceive it, but you like, what, the date was good overall, so I'll let it slide. Those are the beginning warning signs to show you that, okay, he's verbally abusive, he's controlling, he's manipulative. And these are the things that you see, these are the things you identify, but you often let go of because you feel like the outcome is going to be greater than whatever the mishap could have been at the moment.
Right, and that kind of puts, you can kind of put that together with self-love as well. So can you tell us a little about strategies for self-love?
Self-love is your most important relationship that you should have, definitely with yourself. And I know a lot of times in our generation, we're so caught up in being in a relationship, we're so caught up in what we see on social media and what's being perceived to us that we don't realize the number one relationship you can have with anybody, if you're not religious, that being God, would be with yourself. And this is somebody you're going to be with for the rest of your life. This is the person you're going to be in the coffin with. It's yourself. So it's important to have a relationship with yourself. And self-love is similar to any other love you endure. You want to go on dates. You want to, I want to go on dates, I want to have gifts, I want to be told nice things. You say all these things, like in the panel earlier, they were saying all these things that they wanted from a significant other. But those things that you long for from a significant other, you should be giving to yourself. So if you know that your words of affirmation is your top love language, that's how I perceive love the best. Write yourself love notes. Put yourself love notes on stickers, put it in your phone, make it, your lock screen, anything like that. That's you tailoring to your own love language to show you self-love. So I know for me, acts of service. I love when people do things for me. If it's cleaning my car out, if it's, washing my clothes for me, just things that help lighten my load. So I do those things for myself, like I really want my car cleaned out, but the guy who said he was gonna do it, he ain't hit me back and it's been 2 weeks. It's like, well girl, just do it yourself. You still deserve to have your car clean. You don't have to wait on somebody to do these things. And I know, especially with this generation, being alone seems like such a scary thought because you're in a generation that's surrounded by social media and people and relationships, but now is the time, especially with quarantine and being by yourself, is to learn who you are by yourself, how you best receive love, how you best give love, because I may receive acts of service, but I may show love by words of affirmation. So it's important to know what those love languages are and how to use those to best show love to yourself.
Right. Thank you for that. So about self-love, so I kind of struggle with self-love. So are there any tips that you can give?
The first tip would be, like I said, spending time with yourself in any relationship, that being a boyfriend, that be a mother, a dad, any relationship, it comes with time. You have to spend time to get to know who you are as a person, but who you are in that relationship. We say all the times, like, this friend group, this is how I am, but I don't really want to mix that friend group with this friend group because they don't really know me like that. And it's like, because you are different with whoever you're in that relationship with. So it's important to take time for yourself to figure out who you are outside of your relationships. Who is your true self? Who is Nadia when she goes home and gets in the bed and the lights are off and it's just Nadia? So it's like you have to know who you are as a person to even communicate with the people in your life who or what you want out of that relationship. So I say the first step would be spending time alone. And it sounds so scary and it sounds so drawn out, like it's just the end of the world. But I feel like you best know how you operate once you get to know you. So the first step would be spending time alone and speak kindly to yourself. I know, especially as Black women, we are at the bottom of the totem pole. We often get told, you know, we're never going to be good enough. You know, you do too much, you don't do enough. It's never going to be positive affirmations from the world. So you should speak positively about yourself. The same way you would speak to your friend if your friend was doing something for the first time and she couldn't get it right. You was like, hey girl, you know, keep going. It's okay. You're not going to learn it overnight. You would speak kindly to your friend, but then you have the same issue within yourself. Like, gosh, I didn't finish that report on time, or gosh, I didn't do that paper on time. You're like, girl, you know, you had all this time in the world. No, the same way you speak kindly to your peers is the same way that you should speak to yourself, because those things take a mental toll on you, even if you don't believe it or not. That's why if you find yourself always speaking negatively, when somebody does speak positively to you, you don't even know how to accept it. It's like, you look so good today. Girl, don't say that. No, I don't.
Accept the compliment.
Yeah, I can't. No, what? Me? It's like, yes, you. Because everybody else sees it besides you. So you should be the first one to tell yourself you look good. You should be the first one to tell yourself you're smart. You're more than capable. You're worthy. I know for me, I am a words of affirmation person, so because I know that's how I like to receive them, I also give them to myself. You know, I write them on sticky notes, I put them on my mirror. You know, you are worthy, and you say it 1,000 times. Even if you don't believe it, say it until you do, because your mindset helps control every other facet of your life. So if you start saying it, eventually you'll start believing it, and you'll start see it come into play.
Okay, so I'm just now getting into words of affirmation and manifestation. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Actually, I feel like everybody's journey is different. I can say that for sure, because I know one of my friends, they journal everything. It never comes out their mouth. It never leaves their lips. They write everything down that they want to see or what they want to happen. I know for me, like I said, words of affirmations, I have to say it. I have to say it. I have to see myself saying it. So oftentimes I'll stand in the mirror and I'll say these things that I may not even believe in just yet, but I say them until I believe them. The biggest thing, with manifestation is repetition. That's, you have to constantly reaffirm. So it's like, I'm beautiful. You may say it today and not feel it. Tomorrow you may have your hair done, your lashes, like, I am beautiful, okay. You say it, even the days you feel like it doesn't apply, you still say it. You say it. It's good to keep reinforcing it in your brain, so that helps you believe it. And when you believe it, you can achieve it. They tell you that all the time, you know, you can only do what your mind allows, your mind, because it's that powerful. So you want to make sure what you're feeding your mind and what you're pouring into your mind is helping you manifest things into your life.
Okay. And as far as relationships and needing space, how can you comfort your partner when they're going through something mentally?
Okay, for me, I'm a very spacious person. I enjoy spending time by myself. I enjoy being by myself at all hours of the day. I'm more so, I have to make time to be with other people. So in relationships, it's always tricky when it comes to mental health, because everybody's mental health looks different. I know for, like, if you're sick, right? You know, I don't feel good. My stomach is hurting. That's kind of same across the board. She has stomach problems, her head is hurting, she has a fever. We can identify that. For mental health, it's different. You know, I may be really, really depressed, and I'm showing it because I'm eating way more food than I normally do eat, or I'm not eating any food at all. Whereas for you, you may be extremely depressed and you just want to sleep all day. Right. And I'm staying up all night. So with mental health, the identifiers are different. They look different for everybody. So I know for me, being in a relationship, being with somebody who has mental health issues, that being a friend or being a spouse, I've seen that it's best to just be present. So you just want to make sure that they know, like, you know, that you're there for them. Even if it's not physically, even if it's with gifts, it's whatever, however they need it at the time. It's best to know that you're just there. I know a lot of times for people who are spacious, they don't want people to be smothering. They don't want people to, you know, overcompensate for what they have going on. Like, you know, she's calling way more. She's texting way more. She knows something is up. You know, I don't really like that. So it's like, just show that you're present. Like, hey, girl, when you think about somebody, send a text. Hey, I'm thinking about you. Hope all is well. And you just shoot the text off. Don't even think about it. And for the next person, that could have meant everything to know that, okay, I know I still have people, you know, looking out for me, counting on me. So when you get in a relationship or you find yourself in a relationship with somebody with those mental health issues, it's not always easy to identify for you and for the person who's going through them. So it's best to just be present. That's the only advice that I could give, because a lot of the things you're going to want to do for your partner, you can't, because just you're not qualified. You're not a doctor. You don't have all these, tools and years of service under your belt to help you. So all you can do is be present, ask the person, communicate, like, is there anything that you need from me? Is there anything that I can do to help? And if they say no, respect the no. If they say yes, then be able to do what they ask of you. And even if they can't, just say, I'm not able to do that, but I am able to do this. And I want you to know that I am here. So the number one rule for anybody, relationship or friendship, is to just be present.
Right. Okay, and let's go back to being alone and spending time by yourself. Do you feel like before getting into relationships that women, men should spend time alone, like getting to know themselves?
Absolutely.
What you just said.
Absolutely. I feel like you don't know who you are if you're always with somebody.
Right.
Like I stated before, you have to spend time by yourself. And especially as a woman, I feel like it's very important to spend time by yourself because we are sponges. Like we absorb emotions from other people around us. We absorb feelings. We absorb, judgment from other people around us. I know as a girl, my girlfriends are my best friends. I cherish their opinions. I cherish what they have to say. So it's important to know who you are outside of any relationship you have in your life. You might say like, I don't really like when, men raise their voice at me. And then you try to figure out, trail it back down, well, where did that even come from? Why don't I like that? And you might find yourself like, well, I actually don't have a problem with it, but my friend Stacy, she did. And now I see why that I don't like it because she didn't like it. So you have to spend time by yourself. And not only as women, men too. It's like you go in with these expectations of what you want your partner to have. I want them to have this. I want them to be this tall, make this amount of money. I want her to be able to do that, cook, clean, all of these things. It's like you have all these expectations for them.
Right.
What are your expectations for yourself? What do you want to bring to that relationship? And you won't know what you can bring or what you have or what you hold if you do not take the time to get to know yourself.
Right. Okay, and let's get back into your brand. Can you tell me what caused you to start that?
So for me, I was always taught that if you have a desire or if you want to see something come into play and it's not there, create it. Create it. You're creative enough, you're smart enough. I was always told these affirmations by my parents. So it really just birthed out of me needing a safe space to talk about the things that I know I would go through as not only a Black student, but as a Black woman in life, and me needing a safe space to create and say these things. And I thought, why not share that with other people who may be going through the same things?
Right.
For us, especially as the Black community, Black men are the lowest amount of people who go to therapy, but are the highest people that need it. So I realized that a lot of times we don't even know the resources that we have in front of us, and it causes us to miss out. So I created a space to put those resources to help show Black and brown kids that, we have mental health issues too. And sometimes it's a lot worse than our counterparts, but we don't even know how to properly identify them. We don't know how to properly speak about them. We don't know any of these things. So I created a space where you could come and you see like, okay, I've been really moody. Haven't finished my homework on time. I'm not really having joys in the things I used to. And it's like, hey, I just saw on that one page that this is lined up with depression. I just saw this is lined up with burnout. So it gives you these tools to help navigate through the stresses that Black children already have. It's just a means to know what you're going through and how to best get through it.
I love that. So thank you so much, Rachel. And can you tell us where we can find your Instagram?
Yes, so you can find my business page at My Melanated Mental on Instagram. And then for Instagram, my regular page, it's at Rachel Walker with an additional R and the number 8.
All right.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Beyond the Sky Entertainment. We hope you enjoyed this episode all the way from talking with my girls in the panel all the way to learning how to love yourself with Rachel Walker. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Beyond the Sky Entertainment and hit us up on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe to Beyond the Sky Entertainment as well. And we will see you next week.